Stephen Curry's name is now synonymous with greatness, with innovation, and with joy in basketball. He is the man who turned long-distance shooting into an art form, the player who forced a centuries-old game to rethink its very fundamentals, and the champion whose legacy stretches far beyond the hardwood. Yet to truly understand Stephen Curry, we must look beyond the highlight reels, the trophies, and the three-point records. His story is about family, faith, and the courage to chase a dream no matter how impossible it might seem. Born Wardell Stephen Curry II on March 14, 1988, in Akron, Ohio, Curry came into the world surrounded by the rhythm of basketball. His father, DELL Curry, was an NBA sharpshooter who spent over 15 seasons in the league, most notably with the Charlotte Hornets. His mother, Sonia, was a Division I volleyball player at Virginia Tech, instilling in him the values of competitiveness and discipline. From the start, the Currys were a sports family, but it was never about forcing Stephen into basketball. It was about nurturing his passion, giving him the tools to succeed, and encouraging him to find his own path. As a child, Stephen would accompany his father to NBA arenas, where he would shoot around before games, mimicking DELL's smooth stroke. Those practice sessions became the bedrock of his craft. Yet, even with this upbringing, Stephen was never considered a surefire star. He was smaller than most of his peers, less physically imposing, and often overlooked by coaches and scouts. His father's NBA pedigree could only carry him so far. The rest, he would have to earn. This underdog status became a defining theme of his life. In high school, Curry put up impressive numbers, but the big basketball programs in his home state didn't recruit him. North Carolina, Duke, and other blue blood programs passed him over, unconvinced that a slightly built guard could make an impact in major college basketball. That rejection stung, but it also lit a fire. When Davidson College offered him a chance, Curry grabbed it with both hands. At Davidson, he didn't just play basketball, he elevated the program to heights it had never known. Under coach Bob McKillop, Curry was given freedom and trust, and in return, he delivered performances that stunned the nation. His scoring prowess was otherworldly, but what made him special was his composure and courage in the biggest moments. In the 2008 NCAA tournament, Curry captured the imagination of fans everywhere with his dazzling play, leading Davidson on an improbable run to the Elite Eight. He became the face of March Madness that year, and in doing so, he proved that heart, skill, and fearlessness could outweigh size and reputation. That tournament run not only introduced Curry to the world, but also set the stage for his NBA journey. In 2009, the Golden State Warriors selected him with the 7th pick in the draft. At the time, it wasn't clear if Curry would become a star or if his slight frame and unorthodox game would hold him back. The Warriors themselves were far from the powerhouse they would later become. But sometimes, history turns on unlikely partnerships, and this was one of them. Curry's early NBA career was a roller coaster. He showed flashes of brilliance with his shooting, but chronic ankle injuries raised serious doubts about his future. The Warriors even considered moving on from him at one point, believing he might never stay healthy enough to be a franchise cornerstone. But Curry refused to accept that fate. He worked tirelessly to strengthen his ankles, rehabbing relentlessly and adapting his training to build durability. Those years of struggle forged the resilience that would later define his career. When his health finally stabilized, Curry's talent fully blossomed. By the early 2010s, he and Klay Thompson formed the Splash Brothers, a duo whose three-point shooting would become legendary. With Curry's unlimited range, the Warriors began playing a style of basketball the NBA had never seen before. Instead of pounding the ball inside, they spread the floor, moved the ball with pace and precision, and relied on the deep three as a weapon. Curry was the centerpiece, pulling defenders far beyond the arc and creating space for his teammates. It wasn't just effective, it was revolutionary. The 2014-15 season was the moment everything clicked. Under new coach Steve Kerr, the Warriors fully embraced a system built around Curry's strengths. That year, Curry won his first MVP award, leading Golden State to a championship, their first in 4 decades. He became not just a star but the face of a dynasty in the making. What followed in 2015-16 was a season that defied belief. Curry won his second consecutive MVP award, becoming the first unanimous selection in NBA history. He averaged 30 points per game, led the Warriors to an NBA record 73 wins, and made over 400 three-pointers in a single season, an unfathomable number at the time. Though the season ended in heartbreak with a finals loss to LeBron James and the Cavaliers, Curry had already transformed the game. His shooting wasn't just a skill, it was a superpower, one that forced every team in the league to rethink how basketball should be played. Yet for all his success, Curry remained grounded. He never lost sight of his roots, his family, or his faith. He frequently speaks about his Christian faith as the foundation of his journey, crediting it for giving him strength in both triumph and adversity. His signature gesture of pointing to the sky after big plays is not just a celebration, it's a declaration of gratitude. His faith, coupled with his humility, has made him a role model for countless young athletes around the world. The dynasty years with the Warriors added even more layers to his legacy. The arrival of Kevin Durant made Golden State nearly unbeatable, and together they won back-to-back titles in 2017 and 2018. Curry's unselfishness during that era was striking. He was willing to share the spotlight, to sacrifice personal accolades for team success. That willingness to put the team above himself is part of what makes him not only a great player but also a great leader. After Durant's departure and a string of devastating injuries to both Curry and Klay Thompson, the Warriors faced a period of decline. Many wondered if their run was over. But Curry's spirit never wavered. In 2021-22, he led the Warriors back to glory, winning his fourth championship and finally capturing the Finals MVP award that had eluded him. His performance in that series against the Boston Celtics, particularly his 43-point masterpiece in Game 4, was a career-defining moment. It showed that even after years of doubters, injuries, and challenges, Curry was still capable of carrying his team to the mountaintop. Beyond the court, Curry has built a legacy that extends into culture, philanthropy, and family life. His marriage to Aisha Curry and their 3 children have made them one of sport's most beloved families. Their authenticity and openness about balancing fame, family, and faith have resonated with fans who see in them a reflection of real life. Off the court, his philanthropic efforts through the Curry Family Foundation have impacted education and community development, providing resources and opportunities for young people. Curry's influence on the game of basketball is perhaps his greatest contribution. He democratized the sport in a way no player before him had. He showed that you didn't need to be 6 feet 9 inches and overpowering to dominate. You could be 6 feet 3 inches, skillful, disciplined, and fearless. Kids on playgrounds around the world began shooting from deep, shouting, "Curry," with every attempt. He changed the aspirations of an entire generation. Coaches redesigned offenses. Defenses had to stretch themselves to places they'd never gone before. The ripple effect of his style of play is still being felt today and will shape the NBA for decades to come. In the end, Stephen Curry's story is not just about basketball, it's about belief. Belief in yourself when others don't. Belief in the power of hard work, of resilience, of faith, and of family. His career is proof that greatness doesn't always come in the form people expect. Sometimes, greatness comes from the player who was doubted, underestimated, and overlooked. Sometimes, greatness is found in joy, the joy of playing the game you love, the joy of proving doubters wrong, and the joy of inspiring millions along the way. Stephen Curry will forever be remembered as the greatest shooter of all time, a 4-time champion, a 2-time MVP, and a Finals MVP. But perhaps his most important legacy is the joy he brought to the game. Every time he pulls up from 30 feet, every time he dances after a big shot, every time he flashes that smile, it reminds us why we love basketball. He made the impossible look effortless and, in doing so, reminded us all that with faith, work, and belief, dreams can become reality. Thank you for watching this tribute to Stephen Curry, the man who redefined basketball and inspired a generation. If his story moved you, please take a moment to like this video, share it with friends, and subscribe so you never miss more stories like this. And tell us in the comments below, what is your favorite Curry moment? Was it a finals performance, a record-breaking shot, or simply the joy he brings to the court?